Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn. We're going to do a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read here, so let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Sending lots of love. You're healed. Know that. This read is for the Divine Masculine Twin Flames. It is a 7-deck read. The main deck is the SIRIAN STARSEED deck, and it is general, so please, if something doesn't resonate, don't force it to fit. It's for the Divine Masculine, so that affects the masculine within the feminine as well. And here is the main read. So this is the basic read. We have the Two of Cups and the Lovers there today in a beautiful energy, or very complementary to each other. And then for the full read, we have this. So if you'd like to take a snapshot and follow along, I usually do call out all the main cards that I read. So, okay. All right, so a very special message came up in the codes today. It is September 16th, 2020, the 16 of the Tower. So any kind of sudden events, epiphanies, and the day adds up to 29, which is an 11. 11 is a power number. It's also very a visionary energy of the power numbers. And the 9 is very much about being present, not just waiting for your ships to come in, but being present to the moment, the gift and the present of the moment. So right before I cut the SIRIAN Starseed deck at 10:14 this morning, there's a lot of sirens going on. At 10:19 is when I cut the SIRIAN Starseed deck, the main deck for the read. 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, 19 is the Sun. And of course the Two of Cups and Lovers came up, which is very unusual, so that was pretty cool. And then at 10:33, 33 being the Christ vibration, 22 is coming up. There's two twos in a row, and then the number 79, and for me that's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Actually, I was going to do something. Just give me 1 second. I want to see something here. V. Oh, that's funny. I wanted to cancel out some numbers I put down because I didn't do it earlier, and it came out to number 1, just the 1. Let's see what the other one comes out to be. X, 7. Oh, interesting. 7, 8, 9, and 5. 7, 8, 9, which is the 5D, right? 1, 2, 3 is the 3D, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9 is the 5D. So that, and then we have the 5, 7, 8, 9, 5. So it's very much accentuating the 5D and our oneness, unity consciousness. So that's a nice message. That was very easy. And then at 10:34, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the 8 of Wands, I was getting, as I'm covering the cards with my clarification cards and the words, F chalices was coming up. So, you know, somebody might be cursing out their emotions and feelings. And then CES also came up. And I just want to say, c'est moi. It is I. So that can also reference the Christ energy along with the Divine Feminine, the Christos Sophia energy. All right, so I finished doing the clarifications at 10:55 to 56. 55 and 56 are the Ace and Two of Swords, the Excalibur, the Truth, and the Two of Swords, which is being in your knowing and keeping your energy pure. It also can be being unaware or pretending not to know, just depending on what energy you're in. You know, one's a 3D vibration, the other is more of a 5D vibration. The major arcana here were reflection of the Hermit, the Lovers, abundance, which is the Empress card in the SIRIAN Starseed deck. And before the read, nothing came up today, but after the read, the Great Wheel, or the Wheel of Fortune, came up, which was upright. We had 4 cups, 2 pentacles, 1 sword, and 1 wand. So a lot of cups are emotions today here. So off balance in the side of emotions, which is unusual for the Divine Masculine, because if anything, if they're off balance, it's usually pentacles or wands, right? So we had the page, as far as the court cards, we had the Page of Cups in the read, the Queen of Swords, and the King of Wands. After the read, we had the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. So we have 2 pages, a knight, a king, and a knight, a queen, and a king. So a lot of wands here because we have the page, knight, and king of wands. And then the page of cups and the queen of swords. The numbers in the code line today were all about new beginning and perseverance. And the N was separated from new beginnings. So it was coming up as N, which for me is Christ energy, the capital N. And then U, beginnings, and persevere. So we had double 4s here, but they weren't really pronounced. But they were the only double numbers today. And the code line was all about the number 20, which is judgment, coming from 9, 6, and 5. And I swear they came up yesterday as well, 9, 6, and 5, but there's another number as well. So the 9 is the hermit, 6 is the lovers, and the 5 is the hierophant, or expansion and change and freedom. The other numbers that came up, we had 5, 6 of the 2 of wands, 89 of the reflection of human body temperature, or it can express the phi energy of expansion, getting too hot or too cold, and the need to center yourself again, or come back to 0 point. We also had 4211 come up, the 2 of cups and justice, the number 2 of the high priestess, the 56 of the 2 of swords, 44 of the 4 of cups, grounding and integrating and mastering of love, 24 of the queen of wands, 45 of the 5 of cups, and 67 of the knight of pentacles, and 78 the 10 of pentacles. Those are all the numbers that came up. It wasn't a lot today. But the code line all about new beginnings and perseverance, and 20, which has to do with judgment. And judgment, in essence, is making a decision. It's just not our place to make decisions for other people. That's where we cross the sovereign boundaries. So when we say don't judge, it's saying don't be down on yourself, but also don't make decisions for others. You can make decisions for yourself. You have to, as a human, to live. You have to decide to breathe, right? So it's not that it's not okay to make decisions, but it's not okay to make decisions for others unless, of course, you're responsible, for someone like a baby or something like that. And then it gets, there's a gray line there as your child grows up, where you need to let go and where you need to still guide them. But again, it's guidance, a guidance system, not an ordering system. So not to order other people around. So that's coming up. But also the code line here was all about the challenge today was the 5 of cups upright, the grieving process. And the block was the abundance card reverse. So it has to do with lack consciousness. Those are the 2 challenges today. And regarding the beginnings and perseverance, this is what came up. It was a very profound message. So here we go. First, the legend, as the legend goes, sacking perhaps 9 offices or officers, 6 of credit or creditors, 10 million, seeking the 5 of cups or the grieving process, grief, loss, regret in the past, and support of abundance regarding Iwi beginnings and perseverance. And the abundance can be the Empress as well. So the myth, fable, legend, the fox's language of sacrifice, your words, not my words, the privilege of lord or master of the house to hold court, try causes, and impose fines upon others. The 9, the collective consciousness, the unity Christ consciousness, the lovers of credit, 10 million to be exact, seek expansion of emotions and drama, the grieving process, loss, regret, the past and sadness, supporting navel or self-punishment, core punishment, disciplinary hearing, feeling to hear is a punishment. This is for the masculine, right? Who always want to ignore the feminine. Feeding the disciplinary hearing, the feed for the animals, the support, a push, quote unquote, or a wash, the flush, the fat, the extra, that's which isn't needed, not needed, the abundance or the abundance, the BUN dance, the bodily transmutation dance that clears on its own, the Empress Mother with open arms, or not, Christ's disgust, nausea, his Iwi beginnings, calling out he, she, it, they, you, when it's actually his house, evergreen family, one. Those slow to learn, perseverance, never giving up on one's children, having faith in the sovereign's knowing. That was kind of like Christ, yelling at his children, saying, how dare you blame it on he, she, they, it, no matter what it is. And we're talking about the master of the house, wanting to have control of everyone, be the one who punishes and tries and imposes the fines. Again, the seeking of expansion of emotions and drama, the grieving process, that we're taught to grieve, that we're taught to feel sacrifice and loss, regret, the past and sadness. Supporting the navel, which is regarding the Army, Navy, but the navel is your belly button, the center, the core of self-punishment, core punishment, the disciplinary hearing, that to have to hear is being punished, right? Because when we're raised, when we get punished, you feel like you're being nagged, you don't want to hear it. Feeling like to hear literally is a punishment for the divine masculine. It's just extra. It's feed for the animals, something they don't need. It's a support that's extra, a push, a wash, flush, fat, extra, not needed. The abundance of bodily transmutation dance, the Empress Mother without open arms, Christ's disgust and nausea, his ooey beginnings, calling out he, she, it, they, you, when it's actually his house, evergreen family, one. Those slow to learn, perseverance, and never giving up on one's children. So we start the read with the Queen of Swords upright at 1141, 11 being justice and 41 of the Ace of Cups. Below the Queen of Swords was the King of Cups upright, the Knight of Swords upright, the Four of Wands reversed, and the Four of Cups upright. Okay, so this card here, and then the clarifiers on top. The Queen of Swords, speaking her truth. After the King of Cups and the King of Swords, or messenger of truth, move, visit, or are unstable, ending a marriage, or just bored and apathetic, grounding and integrating God's offer of love, the Queen of Swords pulling the truth trigger, and the King of Pentacles upright, the Knight of Pentacles reversed, blocked, still, no movement, unaffected, or stubborn, or doesn't need to work, because he's, after all, the King of Pentacles, the master of the house. Dumping a load, a burden, responsibilities, confessing or retiring, and not telling, perhaps, going about the performance, the juggling, the daily routine of knowing and keeping it to himself, keeping his energy pure and clear and still, staying sane while he is of two minds. The whistleblower, the clown, extending a hand or a smile, arousing the crown, the jester's performance in the king's court at 1150, trying to entertain them and lighten things up. And my son had just left at that point at 1151, is then the King of Swords. And he was telling me the number 165 was significant for him there, and 65 is the King of Pentacles. I am the King of Pentacles. And he was talking about weights and measures, right? Correct the scales, losing weight. I, 65, the King of Pentacles, Henry VIII I am, a little too weighty or heavy-handed with his court and discipline, expecting others to follow his suit, not theirs. Justice of guilt, shame, enough punishment, as the gate is an open and shut case, with 10 cups completion, and the High Priestess spiritual advisor, or secret keeper. As above the 10 of cups upright, so below the 9 of swords reversed, ending the nightmare, or in other words, waking up from the night into the day when the sun is out, emotional fulfillment, happy family, completion, and happy ending, going from 11:59 to 12, which is the bewitching hour, the 11th hour before midnight. The High Priestess at 0 point, the place between happily ever after and Nightmare on Elm Street, almost over, the 11th hour of anticipation, excitement and fear all at once, in a split moment before 12, when Cinderella turns back into a pumpkin. She never really does. She stays in the O zone, the 0 point of time jumping ability, 0 to 0, the bridge on the glasses, jumping from oracle to oracle when conjunct or resonate exactly, shared planetary alignment, Jimmy Jump Jump, which is what my mother called my brother when he was little, the Gemini, which my brother also is, and the twins at 12:03, which is the Hangman and the Empress, which can reference the mother as well. The mother and son is a big theme today. So when the hand strikes 00, at that first split second, and notice the split and the second, the first split second, the reset on counter, countdown clock, Happy New Year, Frosty the Snowman, over and over again, Groundhog's Day, until it's not, it's cold, until the boogers transform, warmth, until back to cold again for preservation. Olive head, face glazed over, Torah in hand, and cross your heart and hope to die. Pinky swears, why not live instead and not swear? Remove the horn, the tusk from the Viking's head. There's no need for defensive end. As above, so below. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Catch a tiger by the toe. Tic-tac-toe. Evergreen mint. 2 mints in 1 at 12:12 p.m. 2 people hanging out or hung out to dry. So 2 mints in 1, not the U.S. mint or the governmental mint. Awaking not to the planes overhead and the guns shooting at the police range, but to the sound of music playing in your hearts, and children playing in your yard, Scotland Yard, the nun's yardstick, a cue to clue you in. Awake from the night merry into the light star, or lighten up, and EN for me is code Jesus, so lightning Jesus up. When lightning strikes down, return the favor to him at 12:16, which is the Hangman in the Tower. The negative self-talk of the lovers reversed and no affection, sovereignty first, and magician's manifestation, learning to use your God-given DNA, the I am presence, the gifts. I am that I am, a lean, mean fighting machine, lost a ton, a tone, a tune. Whistle while you work, the little man who stands very tall. And that could be an aborigine too. Maybe that's who the dwarves were. Sovereign without Gabriel's divine guidance, being sovereign and putting all your cards on the table. A whole lot of solar plexus yellow here of confidence and learning to distribute Gabe's message on your own divine message at 12:21. Whether Plato or Richard Simmons or Michael Jackson or like a mouse or Ben, each and in divide we fall. Y'all come back now, you hear? Southern charm and hospitality, that's all the cure you need, as opposed to a hospital. Address the lack of affection by being the affection you desire, the lover of the beloved, beloved by being love. No mountains or molehills, or uvulas or vulvas, or Uncle Tom's cabin. Just speak and charm, no alarm. Keep speaking and charming until resonation naturally happens. Over time, above and beyond. Go above and beyond your usual limits, the outer limits. No expensive dresses or curtains needed. Just this little light o' mine is a part of everyone. But if they can't see it shining, how will you gain their attention span? Span the globe at 12:29, the Hangman and the presence, the gifts of the moment. Codependency here, beneath it for the masculine in the underlying energy, is worth waiting for. Addictions affecting their romantic life. Embarrassed by the Knight of Swords, messenger of truth, obsessing over half-dressed Quasimodo, to be or not to be, to dress up or au naturel, buff. Unstable house, home, together but distant, and apart yet close, a double-edged sword, the curtains drawn, fell off the swing, or obsessing about the old days while taking down the swings, or no longer swingers, or taking down swing in the bedroom, or trapeze at 1236, the hangman and the atlas, the weight of the world upon your shoulders. Leaving behind the zoo or the circus that is your life, or was, trying to prove your worth. Here we are at 1237 to 38, which is the King and Queen of Cups. Trying to prove your worth, not knowing your worth, like now. Removing the armor to see all the flaws and love yourself first. No more circle of trust, divide by church, state, land, hoe. Changing to only natural boundaries, nature, and naturally walking away when you're triggered. And standing in crop circles to feel what it's like. Letting go of what's dead and gone instead of holding on, allowing, accepting the bumps and the bruises as well as the glorious cruises. Down and up the river of life, floating on air, up as heat rises, and down has a cooling effect. Up harder to control the drama, the fires, the flames, the winter solstice, preserving, sustaining, to have and to hold 'em. Don't say you told 'em, or knew that you sold 'em. Cracking the whip with the kids, keeping them at bay, a man and his chariot with divine counterpart in vehicle of ascension. After falling for it, allowing the fall, accepting gratefully. May I have another, please, at 1248, which is the hangman, and the 8 of Cups of walking away and within. Effort comes up for the Divine Masculine, number 13, which is death, transformation, end. And beneath that was completion, and number 9, which is the Hermit. Taking a risk, not to get away with it, but to get it. Running to trip and fall. Falling to spring into summer after rest, grounding and integrating, and cuddle time. An effort to be brave and confident and know your own way and go your own way. Death reversed, near-death experience or post-death experience, that defining moment of rebirth, choosing not to cross over, yet cross over at the same time. When removing the fear from it, it can be divine. Social distancing, bad influences, third party, and parting favors. To go into and rise above, transmute those energies for you and the collective. Sovereignty destined, left for dead, with only Bambi, sweet Bambi to the rescue, and innocent. Magician is gray and hair grown out, with all their tools on board, levitating elements, suits, and disappearing act. Wants you to take them seriously. Thrown from the tower, or explosive situation, or lightning just hit him, or clock tower with Ben before midnight and turned into Zen. After he got thrown, got up and did it again and again, until out of his system, dead and buried, 3 dark birds, a distant memory. Kindly guarding our green planet. If you don't follow the universal laws, you will get thrown for a loop or two, or Z at 101, 2 magicians, and then repeat the cycle until sick of the consequences. Truth or consequences. At 103, which is the magician and the empress. Quasimodo protecting their dame, the sun, the mother and Gaia, to have and to hold, nourish, support, and feed. The tower, the sudden event, epiphanies, and the Queen of Swords' trigger, the High Priestess and the Magician, taking a risk, making the effort, a joint effort, to close the distance gap. The Chariot ascending, waiting a long time for the Page of Pentacles student to come out with the whole truth and be the King of Wands that he is, unafraid to begin again. The Page of Pentacles, with synchronicities and guidance, ready to gamble, with or of the Hierophant, the only source, and the King of Wands humbling himself to a higher love, or Taurus child comes clean with the truth to Sagittarius, King of Wands, perhaps Cancer supporting their effort to do this. The underlying energies here, we had Pisces upright, Libra upright, Virgo double upright, so is Libra. Libra and Virgo are double upright, Gemini 1 upright, 1 reversed, Aries reversed, and Scorpio both upright and reversed as well. Yeah, I think so. A sudden epiphany about the Queen of Swords, High Priestess, and the Magician making an effort to take a risk and close the gap. In the recent past is the the Six of Crystals, not sharing, imbalance, off-center, debt, scam, negativity, a need to make corrections, offering time, money, and effort, a loan or payoff, or new life to journey that's not seen, to or of the devil's wave, the Capricorn, tagging along or on the coattails of the Queen of Swords, speaking her truth, to her prayer falling short of expectations of outcome, the follow through, or holding back desires, scared to confront the messenger of truth, or blocking it. The Queen of Swords and the Knight of Swords, from them blocking them from coming together here. The lovers coming together in the 5D explosively, suddenly, dramatically, or for epiphanies. The foundation here, or the root of the matter, is the Nine of Pentacles sovereign, in a deep connection. The sovereign receiving third energy from ending a nightmare with the Queen of Cups. And the central energy at the heart of the matter is the Page of Cups upright, the innocent. The Pisces, or completion, the world as it should be, or divine feminine marching to the beat of her own drum, with the Page of Wands inspired, or protected by the Knight of Swords to the past, and the Page of Wands to the future. Grieving the sun reversed and the moon reversed. No day or night in the grieving process. It's all a wash. The challenge being that process, with bird taking off to the stars and grounding and integrating a message of love, of innocence, and the Six of Cups, loving each other, grounding and integrating fond memories, and presently the Knight of Cups offering love to patient angel of a higher love, the Six of Cups, the innocent love, issues at work and falling from grace or lacking faith, wanting to be with that open heart fully, but feeling sorry for self, or sad, loss, regret, the past or what's past, and lingering. Defenseless to manipulation of affection at work, accepting unwanted hugs when getting wish, and yet satisfied, the King of Cups loving man destined to break for, or break down, or break up, or break through, for sovereign or to be sovereign, working to align with the wounded warrior devil, perhaps a horny devil, but the Queen of Cups is guarded and defensive, or has a bodyguard at 137, which is the Magician and the King of Cups. Now is the Hermit, and perhaps some ice cream at 222 back to read from perhaps a sexual energy break. The Hermit and the King of Swords upright, post-war or post-war with the King of Swords, Virgo, Libra, with Taurus and Scorpio, a Taurus with Aquarius and Virgo, and another Virgo with Leo and Libra, and Cancer, Moon, or Rising. Or there's just more than 3 people here, with dominant Virgos, Libras, and Tauruses, and secondary Aquarius reverse, Cancer reverse, Scorpio upright, and Leo upright. Sudden divorce or break from the norm, or break away from the institution, the religion, or a Taurus, or released by Virgo or Hermit with light, a professional or advisor, taming the boar, defenseless to getting their wish, justice, divorce, Libra in a state of emergency, or break down, break up, break through, or break in, a block, or no movement, or paralyzed, recovering Queen of Pentacles at work, or aligning, or getting their ducks in a row, or doing detail work, perhaps with the King of Cups, refusing advances with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, or dream family healing, or of healers connected, perhaps a student or a child, or doing research, or helping the King of Wands reversed after explosive situation, or epiphany of loss, regret, the past, or guilt. Sweet justice with 2 spoons of fruit or berries, and young passion, or the Page of Wands inspired by deception, the early bird catching the worm, or the new moon September 17th, or Cancer reversed, or moon rising, and Capricorn, perhaps a horny devil, or feeling broken in or whipped, or the Page of Pentacles and Sovereign trying to get you to look at the details of soulmates or connection, and the King of Wands reversed has to turn away to cover up what's actually happening to them, feeling guilty or feeling shame. Soon as the King of Wands shaman in a losing battle with the High Priestess, dumping multiple loads or emotions, no competition or fighting a message of love, the Page of Cups. Emotional fulfillment, or just very satisfying, in a 5D rest, break, meditation, or visitation, or move, or felt the ground move. Groundbreaking, earthquake, to prove a point, the truth, the undeniable truth, an offer of time, money, and effort, a new life from the Queen of Wands reversed. Or is it the Queen of Cups upright? Or is it the Queen of Pentacles upright? Who are all here, trying to get the Emperor to share or dish. In the middle of performing and juggling and, ooh, what's that? He sees himself as the Two of Cups, in bliss, implementing a plan for the King of Cups, and Leo or Beast, or the Lion Tamer, or someone to take care of your pet, or calm him down. Uncomfortable feelings and energies of hostage, anxiety, trapped or caged animal, holding on, grounding and saving, and being moderate and happy with self, getting their wish of satisfaction that's destined at 250, which is the High Priestess and the 10 of Cups. Emotional fulfillment. Passion comes up for the masculine, past life relationship, and honeymoon at 251, the High Priestess and the King of Swords. Around the Divine Masculine, or how he is seen, is the Lovers, the Wounded Warrior, and the Queen of Wands reversed, dumped a load or pushed to the limit, purging or sweating it out. There's no peace, or there's nowhere to hide. Grounding and integrating the Hermit with a light on it. The Wounded Warrior stuck in their head, no peaceful place to go, but within. The Queen of Wands reversed, bored of promises not delivered, and the Hermit shedding light while dumped a load, or peeing, sweating, or puked all over, squeezing out every last bit of fluid, like juicing an orange. And the block here for the masculine is lack of abundance. The Empress reversed, no open arms of mother and child. The Page of Cups upright and the Empress reversed, no chest bumping or wrapping arms around each other. Perhaps the Divine Masculine has abundance blocks because his mother wasn't affectionate, or too smothering the other way. Imbalanced relationship with the Emperor, the father, always giving too much and forcing the truth, so that the Emperor then had to refuse, or was refusing to hear it, right? Closing their ears off, blocking it out, turning it off. They can't hear. I can't hear you. Perseverance, new beginnings, but even more so here for the masculine is karmic completion. The Ace of Pentacles is upright with a new life after death, uncomfortable feelings and energies around him of Page of Wands and romantic deception. With the Wounded Warrior, Devil Capricorn, reunion with the Queen of Pentacles, uncomfortable, protecting the Queen of Cups. Or Hermit Virgo third party is not going away, Cancer reversed and Capricorn upright, and uncomfortable, defending the Queen of Cups upright and or the Queen of Wands reversed, in the middle of a financial transaction perhaps. Coming out of the E-Tower, healing, forgiving in a near-death, post-death experience, the never-ending story, choosing the path of the twin flame, and the Empress reversed, defenseless, or not worth fighting for, or choosing Scorpio reversed or Cancer reversed over Taurus reversed, without protection or attorney or defense, or the Queen of Cups with protection, or she knows how to stand up to the dark. She has the tools. But Scorpio reversed and Empress reversed or Taurus reversed without those tools, or without protection. Or the Devil is unable to affect the Queen of Cups when she's only sending out love, because that's natural protection, a natural defense. Cancer reversed and Scorpio reversed, uncomfortable around Capricorn, or coming together with the Queen of Pentacles Capricorn, and the Page of Wands with a mask on and a burning desire, destined to fall, holding back desires and hanging out to see a new perspective, or was hung out to dry. The King of Cups and King of Swords, perhaps with a home under water, a flood, or unstable, where the party's now over, perhaps in a move, or on an island to themselves, praying and wishing, and the Queen of Swords pulling the truth trigger to give it to them. The Sovereign, Two of Cups and Lovers, not sharing, perhaps dead and in need of correction. The Page of Cups upright, that innocence, challenged by guilt, regret, the past, and the King of Wands reversed shaman, with the Empress reversed in lack, with Hermit coming out of the E tower at 318, which is the Empress and the Moon, and the Page of Wands with the mask on and the flame, destined to fall from grace. Or the Page of Wands with a mask and an STD, destined to be with a player, with uncontrolled burn. Or the Page of Wands with a burn and a mask, and the Knight of Wands reversed must hold back or until to move. Or paralyzed, hanging out to find the wisdom of a new perspective. The Queen of Swords upright, not sharing in a tower event, an explosion, eruption, epiphany, or orgasm, as the Sovereign upright and the Page of Cups is upright, challenged by grief, loss, regret, and the past, with Hermit or Virgo and the Two of Cups connection, of the King of Wands reversed, who's uncomfortable in these energies or feelings, with Lovers, with the Empress reversed in lack or ill health or miscarriage, or someone who's mean and controlling, and this could be a mother or a mother-in-law, in lack consciousness or a grandmother, uncomfortable with the Divine Feminine's heart coming out of the tower, the Page of Wands with their mask on and their slow burn, or flame destiny with the Knight of Wands reversed, unable to move, or now surrounded. They can't get away with it this time at 326, which is the Empress and the Page of Wands. Somebody is caught in the act. Atlas forever to hold the rock or the world or the head, the heavens, to suffer, to endure, to bear, the 2D to 3D parallel lines, destined to never touch, to never relieve him, a moth, a map, a comet, destined to transform over time, space, and dimensional reality, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. The world will be a better place for this, that one man, scorned and covered in scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star. So that is your read. We're going to pull an energy card. Let's see what comes up. It's 37:19 on the clock, which is the King of Cups of unconditional love and the Sun. So for everybody watching, for the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Let's clear all negative energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all those concerned, and fill that empty space with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light. And so it is. All right, so what is our takeaway from this read? What do we need to know? What is our message here? What is our message? There we go. Indecision. Okay. So you can go right, you can go left, or you can transcend both by knowing you're worthy no matter what you do, even if it's nothing. By staying at 0 point. The door to spirit, the place from which you manifest. Right? When you can't decide, don't decide. Sleep on it. Purify the air. Purify your energy. Open a door. Right? Let the fresh air in. Get a fresh perspective of patience. And here's the clock tower and the Statue of Liberty and Ben. There's no time like the present. 0 point. I was just getting 10 a.m. That may be significant for someone. Okay, so these are the cards that came out. The 8 of Strength and the Lion, the Beast, the Ego, the 32 of the Journey, and just allowing the purification to begin, and the 16 of the Tower, that when it's time, it will come. There's nothing you can do, and there's nowhere to hide or run. Okay? So when there's no decision to be made, sleep on it. Don't worry about it. Okay? Open the door, open the window, allow the transmutation to begin. Just allow yourself to be. And when it's time, there will be no question. You will be very aware when the Tower comes in. Okay, so the bottom of the deck here And I'm getting snowy weather, like untimely snowy weather, which has got really chilly. 53 is the Knight of Swords, and here we have the Magician of the Mirror again. So it's like the Emperor or even God waking up in the middle of the night and saying, what? Did I not tell you? Did I not give you enough time? Did I not give you enough? Why are you upset with me? Are you not in gratitude for what I've given you? So we have, and beneath him is envy. So this very much can be two parents as well, maybe who are together or not together anymore, right? And again, the one who refuses to hear, because why do you want to hear that? You don't want to hear what she has to say. And this is where someone's closing their ears off. What? I can't hear you. Haven't I heard this so many times before? So we have the 20 of Judgment and the Messenger of Truth here. And he does have energy coming out of his hands, so he is a healer. And this may have been too, like, you know, parents where the father, if they're not together anymore, maybe the father cheated, and so the masculine always sided with the mother because the father did this to her. But now as he grows up, maybe he's finding that he's identifying with his father more and now understands why his father left. So there's going to be a flip of the Divine Masculine's perspective in this. You know, or it can just be two parents together, but why? Why would these two be together? This one's not happy, and this one's not happy listening to that. I can tell you that for sure. But this is like that dark mother energy that's coming up, and this can even be the mother-son energy that was coming up in the read. The Messenger of Truth and the Messenger of Judgment, right, which we just talked about already. So that's the underlying energies. And again, when indecisive, sleep on it and purify the air. Just open a door or a window and breathe and breathe. And perhaps go into go into more cold weather. You know, it takes a minute to acclimate, you know, to the weather. I always get that little fear of insecurity when it gets cold. Like for me, I remember being caught. I was stuck waiting for someone to get done work, and I was in a restaurant that was really cold, and there was nowhere soft to sit. Like the benches were really hard, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was really cold. I had nothing to put on, and I was just wanted to go to sleep and lie down. But everything was uncomfortable, and I was freezing cold, and I just can't imagine anything worse than, you know, dying, you know, freezing cold. It's such an insecure place. So something about that fear that's coming up to be transmuted as well. So I hope that was helpful to you guys. If you need anything from me, you know, all my information is below, and my website is twinflames3344.com. And so make sure you drink your water and get your rest, get your joy and get your nature. And when you're not sure, do nothing at all. Just sleep on it and take one day at a time, rise and be low. Bye, guys. I'll see you soon.